yeah, off, if your mind is off, if your body is off, if your spirit is off, everything falls to kapoots. So you got to train everything at once. So originally I started in functional fitness and functional training at Equinox over 10, 15 years ago. And I just kind of got more into yoga. Then I got into kundalini yoga and meditation. And so I really just combined everything to try to give people a holistic package of bringing them whole. And so optimize who they are as a person so they can get past through all the blocks the self-imposed blocks they have in life, so they can become the best version of themselves. So all that hippy dippy hashtag that terminology that's out there, but that's what I do, and that's really what my focus is really just trying to figure out what each person needs and really connect with each person on a soul level, so I can give them exactly what they need as a teacher. Yep.
We are trainers, so we have this one-on-one feedback from clients, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you run into this kind of problem all the time. People believe that the mind and the body are two different entities, and mm-hmm. they have this huge disconnection, and we have this resistance to believe that if you don't use your mind, especially when you're exercising, you're not going to get the results you want. Can you just talk a little bit about how people have this blockage and how we can remove a little bit? I know it's just like a little bit off from the questions I sent you, but just because you started, just like, let's just go.
I love spontaneity. So, but the thing is, people just, a lot of people are followers. So they just follow what they've been told over the years. So they like, oh, they still got the Arnold Schwarzenegger workout from the 1979. Work on my biceps on Monday and work on my chest on tricep. But then, more functional training is starting to come along now. More mind, body, spirit training is starting to come to the forefront. So now people are starting to be more open to it. But you still have a lot of people who are still stuck in the old way of thinking. And the thing is, when people have resistance, you can't really force them, because all they're going to do is resist even harder. So, and that's just with your body too. If you have a tight muscle, if you try to go in there and stretch it super tight, all you're going to do is lock that muscle up even more. So you got to be gentle with people and really just listen. Listening is so key in what we do. And then, and I believe, and this sounds very hippy dippy, very out there, the whole universe is nothing but a mirror. So a lot of resistance you get from people is really the resistance that you have within. So the more and more you work on the resistance that you have within, the less you have resistance from others. So that's what I do. That's really my goal. It's not really trying to even teach or train anybody, but really just work on myself and being the best light that I can possibly be. Let people teach and help themselves.
That's awesome. Yes, yeah. Well said. Well said. Mm-hmm. I run into that a lot. You having this knowledge on yoga and the functional training, mm-hmm. It's definitely not in our question. How do you just like, what is the first thing you try to make people more aware? Like, you have a new client. What is the first thing you try to teach them to really create this connection, mind body?
Breath. It's all about the breath. And if you're not, and that's why a lot of times for a lot of my clients, after I do my assessments, I like to see them walk and just see their gait, see if one side is off symmetry. But if you're not breathing, your central nervous system is not working, your diaphragm, your core is not working. So you can't even get the aesthetics. You can't get that 6-pack of abs if you're not breathing, because that's how instead of doing all those crunches, you got to breathe. But more importantly, you oxygenate your muscles, you oxygenate your mind, So I have them on the ground just doing like slow, deep breathing just to activate the core. And then that's how I really pretty much start all my workouts. I do core activation and pelvis and hip activation. Then I go from the legs, then to the upper body. To me, I see the upper body is almost kind of the last thing, because in the reality of functional training, your upper body is not major movers. These are just more assisters. You get most of your power and your movement from your core, your hips, and your glutes. So if that's not functioning properly, then you try to use your arms. You're gonna overpower your arms. So that's a recipe for tweaking something. But if you're getting your hips, your core all into it, then you move things effortlessly.
Yeah, I learned that the worst way.
Yeah. We've all been there, trust me. Yeah.
Yes, I paid a high price for that, but it was lessons. I see as a beautiful thing. It just added in my life in so many ways, and actually have to deal with the diagnosis of thoracic outlet syndrome. For me, that was the moment that I had my awakening, because I was not I got the diagnosis not because of the muscle pain and in my upper body limitation, but it was because I had a DVT, thrombosis. I had a blood clog on my subclavian, on my right subclavian artery. And I was just like, what is going on? I'm just like, I'm a trainer. I work out every day. I take my supplements. I do everything by the book. What is going on? So that's that search of the answer, trying to find out exactly what was happening. That was when I turned myself into this spiritual awakening. And it was just like the most powerful thing and that did happen in my life. It was a bad thing, but it brought me so much more, so much joy, so much knowledge that I am extremely grateful that did happen. But it was not easy. But I woke up to the lesson. And a lot of people, they just think that they cannot fix the situation, so we trust too much in the Western medicine, and that's when we kind of we don't find our way. We get lost in this whole misconfusion or overload of information that we are dealing right now. So that was when I shared with you. I had in my meditations in the search of answers. That was when I crossed upon this healer in LA, and she was like, "Have you heard about kundalini?" I was just like, "Kunda what?" and she explained a little bit, and because I was doing my meditations, I was just really getting great results with mindfulness and with a lot of breathing exercises. So just like, yes, let's do it. So with this said, and with you being an expert, is that an expert? How do you exactly name it? Are you a coach, or you're
as Charles Barkley would say, only God is the expert. So I just believe I'm just a light worker. You know, I believe and I think anybody that's in our field, we're just guides, and we're just trying to help people get to the light, you know. And the light is within us. So the light is everywhere, but it's all about where you focus your attention. If you focus at the darkness, then that's what you're going to attract in life. But if you focus at the light, you know, you that's what you're going to get. And by doing a practice such as kundalini yoga, as taught by Yogi Bhajan, or other tantric yogas or other forms of yogas like this, you can help use the faculties of your body to connect with the light within, so that you can connect with the light that's out. So,
okay.
So, and then if you want me to go more into the history of kundalini yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan, and that's the teacher that came to LA like in the late 60s. He studied with the masters in India forever. And during that late 60s, there was that big hippie revolution, and a lot of people just getting strung out on drugs and whatnot. So a lot of these, I don't know if that was just divine intervention or what, but a lot of these Indian gurus, they came to LA and they set up shop, and then there was Yogananda, there was Yogi Bhajan, there was Osho, there was other people beside Yogi Bhajan, and they brought a form of this Kriya or Tantric or Kundalini yoga as its name. But really, it's just really more of like a Tantra yoga. And Tantra yoga is just really like using all your faculties to really to use your life force energy. And in Tai Chi or Qigong, they call it Qi, or Kung Fu, they call it Qi, and we call it Kundalini. So and most of that energy is dormant in all of us, or dormant in most of us for the rest of our lives. But these use like and they've been studying this for thousands and thousands of years to really activate certain faculties in your body, from your nervous system to your glandular system to your muscles to your to everything in your body and in your mind and your spirit, to really activate yourself to become that life force energy. And for the longest, these teachings has been kept secret because, you know, India has a very big caste system. So this yoga is mostly for like for the Raj, which are like the royal families. They're more for like, you know, like the shamans and the wizards, the spiritual leaders of that time that wanted to perform alchemy and stuff like that. Because and you know, for you to the change lead into goal, you got to have the mindset of a hermetic principles to be able to actually do the chemistry part. So and I know that's really out there, very hippy dippy, but that is the history of
No,
like.
I think it is just great for you to share because we are open. I think we are opening a gate to learn more about this. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Please go
Yeah,
and just and really bring the teachings and everything. So
yeah.
I know a lot of people will just like might be a little bit more curious, just like I got very curious about the kundalini, and I really want to learn the depth of kundalini. So how? Okay, so the basis of kundalini, we are working with energy. We're talking about this energy of all of these forces. How do for people that never heard about kundalini, how would you explain what is kundalini?
Well, I just explain like this: it's your life force energy, and you just
Okay,
and
so
we're just
that's
in kundalini. Well, kundalini is what's in you. Kundalini yoga, as taught by Yogi Bhajan, is a name like Nike or Adidas
okay.
or Yoga Works. So, but Kundalini is in all of us. Kundalini is what is referred to as the serpent or the dormant serpent at the base of your spine. And so, when you release the Kundalini, it goes up the chakra system, up your chakras, your first, second, third, four, five, six, go all the way up to the crown chakra, and it goes counterclockwise. And then it comes back down. So you have the yoga. And that's why you see the Sikhs and they wear the turban and stuff to contain that energy like a light bulb. And so then the energy radiates from their skin.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Why would someone would try kundalini?
well, you know, for me, you know, I've always been curious. So, and I went the first time I tried it, I loved it. I fell in love with it. But I've always been called to the mystical side. But I think for just everyday practical purposes, it gets you a much more neutral mind. And we talk about having a neutral mind. And you have in Kundalini Yoga, as taught by Yogi Bhajan, we believe that you have three aspects of the mind: the positive, the negative, and the neutral mind. And so the positive mind is like, yeah, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. The negative mind is like, oh, you're gonna get hurt if you do it. And the neutral mind see things as they are. And that's what really Kundalini Yoga has done a lot for me, is really just have that neutral mind. So I won't be so reactive, not so much of a victim, just very clear about the decisions I want to make and the things that I want to do. And so I think that can be used for any person in the world, especially in this day and age, is to have that neutral mind and to be able to not be so reactive, not succumb to fear so much, and really see fear as an emotion that's telling you something, but you don't have to succumb to it and become crippled by fear.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably one of the, for everyday practical use, that's one of the most powerful benefits of doing Kundalini yoga or doing any type of meditation, just sitting down and getting grounded and centered, you know. But Kundalini yoga is just a little bit more specific in what it tries to do. But at the end of the day, all yoga tries to raise your Kundalini, and all yoga tries to really just kind of get you centered and get you grounded so you can be more calm, you know.
Why
You know,
people resist so much to be calm?
well, I just think it's just like it starts back from our hunter-gatherer days. You know, it's hardwired in us, in our reptilian brain that we always going to fight. or flight. You know, our cortisol levels are going to rise. You know, anytime somebody may be taking something from us, we have that scarcity feeling. So we need to protect and to control everything. But you know, I think now in this day and age, I think we're gonna have to elevate as a whole human race. And I think, you know, and this may sound a little bit harsh, what I think is going on in the world, but you know, it's kind of like Darwinism in its purest form. You know, it's like the strong really need to start is going to start surviving, because it's not going to. I don't think it's going to get too much better, to be honest with you. I think the days are going to be a little bit tougher, but we're going to have to be tougher, you know, to really fly and to really thrive during this time. And so, but the external conditions are probably just going to get worse. So, but the internal conditions is something totally different. You know, for me, I'm getting better and better every moment, every day. You know, so it can be Corona, it can be Trump in office, it could be Kanye West in office. I'm going to thrive no matter what, and I'm going to thrive more and more and more and more every day. So yeah, that's because of the practice, and that's because of the discipline, and that's a key point I want to make. It's the discipline that really is the real magic of all of this. That's the real alchemy. It's like meditating every day, exercising every day, eating healthy food every day, surrounding yourself around positive people, learning every day. You know, that it's a discipline, you know, and people really want to shortcut the discipline, but you can't really shortcut the discipline. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's very true. We are always trying to find the shortcut for everything.
exactly. I
Very
mean, there's
sad.
nothing wrong with trying to find the shortest path. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's certain things you just can't shortcut. Yeah.
Yes, very
Hmm.
true. And how how do I do the Kundalini? Do I need someone to coach me? Can I just go ahead and just try? Just go on YouTube and find a video and just jump on it?
You know, I would highly recommend not to do that, because of the fact that Kundalini yoga can be very dangerous. It's the most
Okay.
potent yoga. It's the most potent yoga out there, and it really activates your central nervous system. And if you can really fry your central nervous system, it's
Wow, so
kind
it
of
is
like,
that powerful.
it can be just that powerful, you know, if you don't have first of all, the reverence and the sacredness when you do it. You know, I think it's like almost kind of like a curse even. So it's good to work with a person that's a certified teacher, that's been learn the lineage from another teacher that's been qualified. So you could do things properly, you know, because they've been studying this for thousands and thousands of years. So, and you just do it, and it's good to do it properly. And then from there, maybe you can follow a YouTube video and going on. But you know, there's now, because of the pandemic, a lot of people have shifted their business model. So there's a lot of great YouTube teachers. I mean, a lot of Zoom teachers out there, live teachers, including myself. You can direct message me at Limitless Strength if you do want to do a complimentary Kundalini yoga session with me, and I would love to do that for you guys. I love to spread the knowledge. And then and then from there, maybe ask your teacher can give me a meditation that I can do every day, even if it's only for 5 minutes. Yeah. And so
Uh-huh.
I think that's a good gateway. But Kundalini teachers are everywhere. You know, the website is 3ho.org. I'll actually put that in there right now. So if you guys are really
Yes,
interested,
please.
go to 3ho.org, and then they have a directory of teachers and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that.
Yeah. So they have a directory of teachers and whatnot. But
Because it was not actually before I did my Kundalini session with actually the professional. But afterwards, just like I got so curious, right? Because it's super powerful. I felt absolutely amazing. I felt this belief, this this energy, this heat. It was just really, really amazing, and lasted for days. I was just like walking on clouds. It was just like amazing. But
yeah.
then I was just like, okay, let me just hear what people, have to say about this experience. And I think it was on YouTube. I found this guy that I don't know if he did with a professional, but he for 7 years he after our Kundalini session, he had like really bad back ache. And it was basically, the explanation was that he had some energy kind of blocking the chakras, or like being stored in a location. Can you just talk a little bit about what can happen in this case when we are doing in the wrong way, when you're just like doing without the proper
if you do anything without proper guidance, that's powerful. You're bound to get hurt. Like if you're heavy weightlifting, if you doing powerlifting without the proper training, without the proper warm-up sequence, you can really F yourself up. And that's the same thing with your nervous system, your glandular system, your internal organs. You can really mess yourself up because you just have maybe a rush of energy that's too much at the wrong time of the sequence, and it can really it can really screw you up, and it can really set you back instead of move you forward. So, and that's the goal. You really want to kind of move forward with any type of practice. So, just
is it because it can you can access a part of your nervous system that you can access information about traumas, past traumas. So it has a lot of emotions that you can just like store in your muscles. What exactly happens when you
that's one of the big things that Kundalini Yoga does. And they also have this all-day meditation called White Tantric, where you work with another person. But it's really to release the subconscious blocks. That's what, you've seen this on Instagram and social media. You see all these memes where like the tip of the iceberg is what you're dealing with, but underneath the tip of the iceberg is your subconscious. And that subconscious, not only does it deal in your psyche, it permeates in every muscle and fiber in your body. And just talking from a scientific standpoint, from a Western scientific standpoint, just based on the fact that you keep on having these thoughts in the back of your mind, in the back of your head. They're affecting your nervous system. They're affecting your glandular system. They're affecting your muscle. They're causing your muscles to tense up and whatnot. And it causes all types of trauma and whatnot. And what Kundalini Yoga does, and what most really good spiritual practice, it never really tried to be too specific, because it could be a whole gamut of things that could be affecting you.
Oh, okay. I get it.
The thing is this. Once you just raise your Kundalini in a proper way, the Kundalini in itself heals all issues, And that's kind of like the way I do my personal training. I've never really tried to like pinpoint what's wrong with somebody. I just try to get people to move properly in a 3-dimensional and balanced way. And then through the movement itself, their body will start correcting themselves. So we're a very sophisticated machine. And we're a lot more sophisticated than we give ourselves credit. So we gotta let our body, our mind, our spirit do the work. All we gotta do is put it on the right path. So I think that's what any good guide or any good teacher or any good healer does. They don't try to really fix a person, because no one needs to be fixed. All they need to be maybe just pushed in the right direction or guided into the right direction to where the light is, and let them shine their own light,
Okay. So is like one session good enough, or do you think that it's
I mean, for me, it's every day. It's a lifestyle. So I don't, I guess so. It's better than nothing, right? It's better to work out one day out of the year. It's better than working out than no days out of the year. But I think if you really want to get benefits of anything, it's about the daily discipline. Like even if it's only 5 to 10 minutes a day, but to meditate, or do a Kundalini Kriya or a Kundalini set for 5 to 10 minutes every day is very potent, And then even through my training and whatnot, you hear all the teachers talking, all that stuff. Where I got the most gains was through doing my daily meditation on my own,
Awesome. Can you just create this or just talk a little bit about this concept of meditating while you're working out? Is that possible?
Well, we actually have a concept called Simran. And Simran to me is continuous meditation. So you're pretty much a person that's meditating 24/7. So life becomes one big meditation. So meditation is just practice for you off the mat, you know, and that's the ultimate goal, where you're in constant meditation. Every moment is crystal clear to you. You're so engulfed in the moment. You're letting go of the self, because that's what really causes all our complexes, all this healing that we need in today era, because we just put too much value in the self. This, that, mama issues. I remember in the 4th grade, blase splee, but instead of just really be conscious and breathing in the moment, then all those things really start disappearing, you know? So,
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to get deep in a little bit. I already do a lot of this, but that is a new concept, and I want to try that.
About, like, what's the new concept?
The 24/7 meditation, because sometimes I just go off. Sometimes I go out of the.
But that's good too. That's good too. But the thing is be the observer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you go off, be like, oh yeah, I see myself going crazy like that. And just be the observer. But just really find the space. There's always space between the moments. Focus on the space between the moments instead of just being engulfed in the moment or engulfed in the reaction or the emotion. Really find the space, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to definitely go into that a little bit more. So I do have one very key question too. I'm just going to reframe the questions I sent you. How can we, people that is kind of afraid of trying this, which I believe is a technology, right? It's a technology that you're accessing your own power, right? For those that are just afraid of accessing this power to just have more control over their emotions and actions, what would you say to these people that is just dealing with this resistance? Or it's either a resistance of a belief that is just like, oh, this is too you know, it's just to the hippie people, you know, just for them, you know. I don't get involved with that. It's an old belief, right? So what would you say? What would be like your words to the people that want to, but they have this resistance? They have the old beliefs, their fear, the emotions, what people are going to think about me if I try. What would you say to these people?
And then I think that's what I'm learning as a teacher. And I think we talked about it earlier, like first releasing the resistance within. And the more you resist, I believe you release the resistance within, the outer resistance will disappear too from other people. Because people, I believe that we live in that type of a world, that type of a universe that everybody, it's just mirrors. We're mirroring each other. If I'm the teacher that knows everything and like coming at you like, oh, you better do kundalini or you're not gonna do la, that's gonna turn people off. But if you just sit there, listen to them and understand them, like, and then you know what? Why don't you just try this breathing technique? You know, maybe you just try this and see how it feels. Cause it's not, your breath is like so important, and I break it down to them in using Western terminology. I won't use that Eastern terminology. I just say, and I think that's the second part I'm working on, is the master's touch. And that's what the master touch is. You got to really figure out how to really motivate people, or how to really, not even motivate, how to inspire people. And I think the key to really inspiration is, like I said earlier, is just to listen. When you deeply listen to what people say, not even just the words, because the words are only just a facade oftentimes. Most conversation, or most expressions is even telepathic, or like through body language or whatnot. So really listen to what they're saying, and this try to, you just kind of like gently push them into the right direction, and try to plant seeds, like a gardener would. You plant seeds. You might not get a big harvest right there and then, but if you plant a seed, you never know what happens 3 or 4 years down the road. And this is really good that you talk about it, because I work for this organization called Yoga for Youth. I volunteer for them, and we bring the kundalini technology to the inner city kids. And trust me, they're super resistant. They're like, oh man, this shit crazy. No, I mean, excuse my language. Oh, you crazy. You know, they like straight from the hood. So you know how it goes. They're not trying to hear that. Plus a lot of their parents are like, oh, my mom said yoga go against God. I'm a Christian. So, you know, they got that going on too. I think it's crazy. That's why you just got to make it kind of simple, cool, and don't try to be too pushy. Because if you try to be pushy, you're just going to push people away. And this all comes, like what I said, with the master's touch. You got to really learn how to really have that touch with people. And it's kind of like the same in the weight room too, or somebody that's working out for the very first time. Like you hear women like, oh, I don't want to get my arms big. I don't want to lift any weights. Like, so, you know, it's the same thing. You got to kind of gently kind of push them. Like first, really listen to what they're saying and really try to figure out what their belief system is and play to their belief system just a little bit, and then kind of push them toward the belief system that you want them to start believing. Or that, not even that, just give them the light and let them believe what they want to, but start pushing them toward the light. And then they'll start, their belief system will start changing. And their vantage point, their perspective will start changing.
Great. So people, they just need to be open to release the old beliefs and the old, and this is basically what we are dealing with right now, right? We have so many masks, right, just falling, and faces are being exposed, right? And there's a lot of people that is still resistant to the new way, the new reality, right? How Kundalini can help people to transition to this new way, new life, new world? Because it's never, we are not going to, it's not the same world, right?
Same world, like I told you.
It's just not. How Kundalini can help people to become, as this is the theme of our conversation, to become stronger and more flexible and accept the new changes.
Well, like I said earlier, I think it's about like having that neutral mind. When you have that neutral mind, you're less reactive. So you really kind of start listening and hearing people out. And that's all we all really need to do, especially with like all the racial tension and stuff like that. It's like nobody know what the answer is, but the only one thing that's going to help everybody if we just start talking and listening to each other. And so with a practice like Kundalini yoga, it makes you more receptive to listen to other people, be more compassionate with other people, you know, and I think we need a lot more of that, a lot more listen, a lot more compassion, instead of everybody being the expert or the know-it-all or the guru, but just being a down-to-earth person that listens and is there to serve the other person, to serve our world, you know. I think, and then that's what I was talking about earlier also, is that like we live in a society that's so self-absorbed. Everybody's so self-absorbed. Me. And it's killing us. It's killing us. And you can go talk to a therapist, and the therapist can analyze and break you down from every little bit. But guess what? When you open up that Pandora's box goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, because everything triggers us. Everything affects us. But if we focus on the light, on positivity, then that's where our energy is going to be aligned with. We're not going to be aligned in the negative anymore.
Yeah. And that is what I think it is important for people to understand. It's not that you like sitting down and being still and start meditating and that you are going to become less reactive. You're going to become less reactive to the manipulation. You're going to start seeing the big picture as really is. You're just going to start entering in this realm of synchronicity that you're just going to get so much information. You're just going to download so much. You're going to open your eyes in a way that you're just going to, wow, have this kind of reaction is not the right way to go. And that's how I see now with all of what you shared, just like it's basically just become less reactive to the bad energy, right? Which it creates some balance too. We have to have that bad energy to equalize the good energy. And if you want to just to kind of talk a little bit more about this, it is just basically just get this belief that, and not only belief, but understanding that the way you react, it is key. It will either drive us to evolution, or we are just going to take 100 steps back. You know, we are just in this path of evolution, but the way we react to everything that is happening, that is the result. The tomorrow, it is going to be basically a result of the way we react. And just sitting down, just really accessing this technology, accessing this energy, that's when you get the right download. So just like we have a lot of download of bad information, social media, it is a great way to, you know, for us just to, it's awesome. You know, we are sharing a lot of information, but we really have to be extremely selective to the type of information we are allowing our eyes, right, to see, and our brain to absorb, because everything it's just being stored on the subconscious, as you mentioned. So if you want to just to say a little bit about this balance of bad and good, and I'm sure the Kundalini talk a little bit about this balance, right? Because just like when you mentioned just like the serpent, just like, what, a snake is going to come up from my wait a minute, it's a, you know, it's an animal that is just, it doesn't normally have a very good reputation, right? So what is the bad, what's the balance in the bad and the good?
Well, that's actually because of Judeo-Christianity mentality, that they made a snake look bad. But what in the Greek, and also in like the Mesopotamian, and also in the Egyptian, snakes were revered animals. They were very powerful animals. And actually, if you look at Hippocrates, which is the father of medicine, they used the snake as a symbol. So Christianity kind of changed that all up. But I mean, on one level of consciousness, everything is dual, good and bad, light and dark. And we put so much emphasis on like, this is bad, this is good, this is light, this is dark. This is what causes so much anxiety in our consciousness and our level of awareness, instead of just being more accepting and appreciative of all things, you know, and learning from all things, because the nighttime helps you understand and appreciate the daytime a lot better. So that's just the way it is. But we live in a society where if we don't get exactly what we want right here and right now, then we're going to become distraught. We're going to become reactive. We're going to become victims of our emotions. We're going to become just victims, period. So by doing a practice such as Kundalini Yoga, it gives you that awareness of neutrality, that you accept things for what they are. You know, you're on the pendulum of life, but you're not at where the ball is, where you have the super highs and lows. You're more like toward the root, the source of the pendulum. So where you're consistent no matter what. So good and bad, you know, I welcome it all.
Yes.
I personally welcome it all, because, you know, because that's what life is, and that's the adventure of life, you know.
Yes.
If you don't have any bad, guess what? It gets pretty boring. Contrast is beautiful. And in contrast really tells you what, and if you really use your attention and use your awareness, and I'm going to what Abraham Hicks said, and this is a little bit off Kundalini Yoga, but you know, I believe all spiritual teachers lead to this, the river leads to the same source. And what Abraham Hicks said, the contrast is one of the best teachers there is, because it teaches you what you really want and what you don't really want in life. So you use these as lessons, you know, keep going more on like this, the spiritual practice of meditating. And this may sound a little hippy dippy, but it really works on your third eye, your intuition, so you can have discernment. Because, you know, I don't think we're lacking in information, as you said earlier. We have too much information, but we got to learn to be able to discern what is right and what is wrong. You know, I see these people exercising with their Fitbits and tracking everything out, but they can't really say like, you know, this exercise doesn't feel good for me, but my Fitbit said I burned 400 calories. You It's within. Everything is really within. And that's where the real movement is going, is for humans to really thrive in this next era. We're going to have to learn how to really go within and be powerful and strong, and not be victims of the external world, because the external world is changing very fast. And after pandemics come, robots and AI is going to come and take a lot of jobs away too. And, there's going to be mass poverty in the world, so people are going to have to be very strong mentally, physically, and they're going to have to be flexible. They're going to have to be willing to make new changes, get out of their comfort zone, or it is going to be like a form of Darwinism, and the weak will not survive. I mean, and this is just the reality of our world, and that's good, bad, however you want to look at it, but you can just move from there.
Yeah, no, because a lot of people are seeing the pandemic, it is a bad thing, but there is a lot of good thing that it might come out from this whole thing if people start really looking inside, as you said. When they start looking searching for the answers from the inside, then they are going to start building this strength to fight and just to become more flexible and to become strong and to survive, and why not thrive, right?
Well, that's what we're meant to do, is thrive, but we've been conditioned not to thrive, just to get by. But going back to Abraham Hicks, I love her. She's I love her as a teacher. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's all about either you can swim upstream or downstream. So a lot of times people have a lot of resistance. They're trying to get to this ideal, like, oh, I need to get to this point right here. I need to go to where the picket fences and the two kids and stuff like that. But maybe the river is not taking you that way. Maybe the river is taking you this way. And so instead of trying to resist and use so much energy to try to get there, just go downstream in life. And, that's what being flexible is, really kind of going with the flow, but still having, like, you have a purpose and a commitment of what you want out of life and where you want to go out of life, but being flexible within that. And that sounds very paradoxical or very oxymoronic, but that is the balance right there. And that is the artistry that we have to really create as beings on this planet, is being able to be strong but flexible.
But it makes a lot of sense once people start accessing this technology.
Well, that's what
sitting down and being still. Then they're just like, oh, okay, now this whole thing makes sense. That's why people should definitely try. So
go ahead. Now, I say that's what it gives you the most, and that's, I think, the most beneficial. It gives you that awareness, so you can be able to. And that's what that's their coined term, is like kundalini yoga is the yoga of awareness. So it really gives you that awareness. Yep.
Awesome. Let's open our eyes, guys. Don't be afraid. There's you're going to actually see a bunch of good stuff. A lot of things that you're actually missing out.
Yeah.
So Richard, he mentioned that he just sent a message before we started the live, that he wanted to do a 5 minutes meditation. That's right, Richard?
We could do a really quick. I think this is good. This is like one of our signature meditations. It's called Sat Kriya, and we chant the word Satnam, and Satnam means truth is my essence, and we connect it, and we go through all the chakra systems.
Okay.
So we can do it really quick if you're ready.
Do you want to finish with any other observation before we go through the meditation?
No, I think with any practice, Kundalini yoga or any Qigong, Tai Chi, whatever, you can talk about it for eons, but it's really about experiencing it. Yeah. And that's once you have that higher level of awareness, you never really want to go back. I mean, for me, there's no going back. Yeah. So
exactly.
When you fly first class or you fly private, you don't want to be on the Greyhound anymore. You don't want to be on the Greyhound bus. So
that's very true. All right, guys, we're going to start a meditation. Please find your guys, if you have TV on, if you guys have anything that is kind of creating some distraction, I really want you to be grounded. Center yourself right now. Pay attention to Richard's words, and we are just going to give you guys 30 seconds so you guys can just find yourself in a comfortable position, a specific position, Richard.
I like where your legs cross like this.
Okay, I'm on my chair, but I can't fully cross my legs.
But we just rub our hands together. So wherever you're at, you can rub your hands together, and that kind of like activates the nerve endings in the palm of your hands. And put your hands at your heart center. Start closing your eyes and just really start grounding yourself. And we're going to connect with the teacher within. And so the chant is Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. So in our lineage, we say that before we start any kundalini set. And basically, we're just tuning in with the inner teacher within and the teachers before us, and we create a golden chain of knowledge that always will lead us in the right direction. Okay, so don't worry if you get the words right, just kind of be in the vibrations of me chanting. Sound is so powerful in kundalini. That sound really activates certain elements in your brain, certain chemical reactions happen in your brain. So just go along with the vibration. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in to begin. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Okay, slowly open your eyes. Okay, let's just do circles with the hips. Loosen up the hips real quick. Your pelvic bowl. Just change directions. Little shoulder shrugs. Get to brush the dirt off your shoulder. Really trying to really just kind of like the lymphatic system. This is all lymphatic system. This is our sewage system. So that's why I'm so anti deodorants with aluminum and stuff like that, that blocks our exhaust system. This type of exercise right here kind of just clean the sewage out. Okay, so we're gonna do the meditation. It's called Sat Nam. Sat Nam means truth is my essence. Are you keeping it real? You're connecting with your truth. And so we put our hands just like this. I call it the yoga gun. And so for men, the right thumb is over the left. For women, the left thumb is over the right. So you can stay sitting in your chair or sitting cross-legged, or this is ideal. You sit what they call a rock pose. You sit back on your shin. I put like a block underneath me.
Wait, I don't think, is that okay if I don't do this pose because I'm on a chair? I have.
You can sit in the chair and do the hand motion. That's perfect.
Okay.
You just put your hands up like this, and I'll show you a couple ones. You say sut. So when you say sut, you push up your navel. So this is pushing from the root chakra. And you say nam, and you envision the light going out your third eye, the point between your two eyebrows. Sut,
Okay.
nam.
No.
Sut,
No.
Okay, good. So let's take a deep breath in, rub our hands together, breathe out, make our yoga gun, put our hands up in the air, and just follow along. Sat, nam, 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 Sat. Nam. 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 Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. Now you're going to pretend like you're going to the bathroom, but you're going to hold your bathroom in. So you squeeze on your rectum, sex organ, navel center. That's the first chakra. We're going to push the energy all the way up. Keep holding your breath in. And then breathe out. Let your hands go all the way down. You sit there and let the energy circulate. We just activate all your chakras by using the chanting, the vibration of the sound, to really release a lot of blocks. To really connect our energy to the infinite. Okay. That's just very short right there. We can do that for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and that's what I always
Whoa.
Yeah, 11 minutes.
Thank you. Wow.
And that's very, very short. And I know we're running short on time because our Instagram caps us at 1 hour.
Wow. So, but guys, you guys should definitely contact Richard. Mm-hmm. I am doing that myself a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure,
very powerful, the mantras. Wow. I was feeling actually my left rib, but after the breathing, it's gone. That's great. Thank you so very much, Richard. This live was absolutely great. And this is, guys, this is what I am going to be doing. I'm going to work with Richard because I want to access this technology right now, especially right now. There's a lot going on, and I want to not only help myself, but I want to be able to help others. You cannot help others if you're not strong enough. There's that analogy that we always bring it up when you're in an airplane, when the flight attendant and start explaining about the mask, you have to wear the mask first. Mm-hmm. So wear your mask first, you know, build yourself up so you can just build others. We need builders, people that is just going to bring new energy to this new era. Mm-hmm. So let's just unite and not, you know, create all of this bad energy, bad separation, you know, segregation with everything. And just it's a time to unite, not to separate, not to I'm not finding the correct word, but anyways, you guys got the message, I guess. Richard, thank you so very much once again. Thank you for this meditation. And it was right in time.
Yeah.
So, wow, this is amazing. So I am going to, wow, I'm still just like, okay.
Yeah. That's just the beginning. Yeah, do that for 62 minutes.
Wow, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Thank you so very much. And I'm speechless. I'm sorry.